Hi, guys. So I was asked a question about what is required to what is it required to do to before you start muscle testing? Like, how do you know that you're able to muscle test properly to muscle test? And I've given you a lot of different examples of that. So I kind of wanted to go through. There's really two different things that you want to do. So what I want to do is kind of go through those with you right now. So when you're getting ready to muscle test, right, the biggest thing that you need to remember is when you're trying to figure out whether or not you're able to muscle test, right? The biggest thing is polarity. Okay, if your polarity is negative, you cannot muscle test, right? Because your body's communicating the wrong way, and you're not going to be able to get the correct, accurate answer for muscle testing. Okay, so the first thing. So you want to look at these three things all as one group, right? So you want to start with polarity, and then you want to check your autonomic nervous system, and then you want to check your ECM. Okay. Now, if polarity is negative, like I said, you won't be able to muscle test yourself. But if polarity is positive, then you check your autonomic nervous system and then you check your ECM. Okay. Now, if your autonomic nervous system is balanced, no problem. ECM is open and flowing, no problem. You are muscle testing properly in that situation. If your autonomic nervous system is not balanced, that doesn't mean that you can't muscle test. It means that you're muscle testing that your autonomic nervous system is imbalanced. Okay. If your ECM is not open and flowing, that has nothing to do with whether or not you can muscle test. The only thing that will definitely tell you can't muscle test is if your polarity is out of balance. Okay. Now, when looking at doing the three questions, what is my name? 1 + 1 is 2. The weather outside is frightful or delightful. However you want to ask those questions. Those are calibration questions. Those are questions to calibrate. Am I able to find the right strength of my fingers? Am I muscle testing correctly? Am I being accurate in my muscle testing, right? So you can muscle test and still not be accurate because of stressors in your system or because you're not focusing when you're muscle testing, right? So these are more for accuracy, okay? Stressors that you're testing when you test stressors is just to find out, do I have something in my system? Do I have a virus? Do I have a bacteria? Do I have a chemical toxin? Do I have an emotional disruptor? Is there something that's stressing out my system? Again, that has nothing to do with whether or not you can muscle test it, right? So if you're just looking for what do I need to do to make sure that I'm actually muscle testing correctly so that I can go through in my muscle testing, it's polarity, and you need to check for accuracy. Okay. So that's polarity, and then name, math, and weather is for accuracy. So those are the two things for that particular part. Okay, so part two, right? Polarity is positive. Autonomic nervous system is not balanced. So let's say we're there, okay? Autonomic nervous system is not balanced. That does mean that your ECM is not open and flowing, but it does not mean that you can't muscle test, okay? So if you're not sure and your autonomic nervous system is not balanced, right, then that's when you want to do the check your accuracy, okay? So for example, let's say that your autonomic nervous system is not balanced, then you want to come over and check your accuracy. Because if your accuracy is on point, your name is correct, the math is correct, the weather is correct, then you know for a fact that your autonomic nervous system is not balanced. And then you know for a fact your ECM is not balanced because you probably have a stressor. So then you're going to test the stressors to find out what you have, and you're going to look for the solution. If you're not sure that you're being accurate, that's when you use these questions over here. That's accuracy, right? So if you're not being accurate, okay, if accuracy is a 0, then you can still be positively polarized. But if accuracy is off, then this means no muscle testing is accurate. And therefore, you want to go back and do some of the things that we talked about in the very first class. Some of the breathing exercises, maybe do a melt rebalance sequence, get a drink of water, try to clear your head, right? Try to rebalance your autonomic nervous system a little bit so that you can then go back to the accuracy, okay? So a lot of stuff here on the screen. I just want to kind of check this one more time for you, right? If your autonomic nervous system is not balanced, then you check your accuracy, okay? And again, if accuracy is working, then you go back and you finish this testing here. Check the ECM, check for stressors, check for a solution. If your accuracy is not working, then that means no muscle testing. And you want to go ahead and work on your whatever you need to do to try to balance that autonomic nervous system. Okay. To go even further, if your autonomic nervous system is balanced and your ECM is balanced, you can still have a stressor and you still want to test for stressors, but you might not find a stressor. So if this is balanced, then there's probably no reason to check for accuracy. Okay? You only really need to check your accuracy if your autonomic nervous system is not balanced, but you can put it in there as kind of like step 3, right? So if this is step 1 and this is step 2, this would be step 3, and then you would come over here for step 4 and step 5, which it's not letting me do anymore. Here we go. Step 4, that's a 4. It's step 5. Trying to do this the best that I can, but I think you get the idea. If this is still confusing to you, let me know and I will try to make it even clearer. Okay? Awesome.